Okay. Hey, it is Monday evening, and this is the certified coach, or I'm sorry, the coaching certification boot camp. So, welcome, Coach Penny, for joining me. Oh, Haley Schuler coming to join us. Yay! Hey, Haley.
Hey there.
Nice to have you with us. Tell your mother we're missing her.
Yeah, we missed her.
Hiding. Okay, so we're going to go back through our list of topics, and we're going to start off with the first topic in the certification bootcamp, which is the 90-day coaching roadmap. So tonight we're going to really talk about understanding the 90-day transformation system. So, you know, one of the unique things about this program is the fact that we've got a lot of flexibility with this program, and we're going to talk about what that looks like and what that means for you coaching your clients and how that's going to affect you. So when we developed this program, we developed this with the fact that we didn't want a one-size-fits-all sort of program, which most of the programs that are out there are a one-size-fits-all. And we know that everybody's unique, everybody has unique situations and lifestyles, so we wanted our program to be able to be completely customizable for where clients are at. What does that look like for us, and how do we make that unique? Well, one of the unique things about our program, and you know, for all of you, because you've been through it at this point, you know that we start off with enrollment forms, and we ask a lot about what you're doing and what you're doing in your life. And by doing that, it really allows us to see, okay, do you have any specific health issues? Do you have any specific dietary issues? Do you have, mobility issues? And by doing that, we can really, it gives us a couple different objectives. Number one, when clients come through FitLife and we get those type of enrollment forms, it really allows me to assign clients to coaches who have some familiarity with what's going on. So oftentimes, if they're dealing with liver issues, because Coach Paula has dealt with liver issues, I will try and direct that client in her way. And I've done this with Coach Kathy too. When we've had clients with specific needs that fit in with Kathy's, expertise, I will slot those clients in with her. So I really do try and match up clients appropriately with the right person. Now, what does that mean for you when you start to recruit your clients? Well, it means that you're going to get clients that have issues, all these same issues. Maybe they're diabetic. Maybe they have high cholesterol. Maybe they've got digestive issues. So these are all things that you're going to come up with as the longer you coach. What do you do? Well, first of all, you have to figure out what is going on with your clients. So what are their health issues, or what are their specific needs? And this is when you have this wonderful little tool and resource of having this coaching community, because you are never completely alone when you're coaching. You have so many people that you can tap into. Say, you know what, I really am not sure about this. Can somebody, give me a little bit more expertise on this? Not only that, we have this wonderful thing called the internet where you can definitely research, but I always caution people about researching on the internet, because you will find more things than you ever wanted to know about something on the internet. So you really have to filter what's coming in. So, May is a great resource. She's got lots of expertise. You can always ask me, especially when it comes to the medical things. May is great with training, and she's got a very diverse background. When it comes to medical things, I'm happy to help out. So don't hesitate. And the other thing is, we have coaches with all different backgrounds, and we just were talking about this on the certified coaches call. Part of the reason why we've created the Slack community and why we have that community is for everybody to be able to connect and to network off of each other, because that's a really important tool to have, and knowing that you've got those resources. So don't be afraid to tap in and post and say, hey, can somebody help me out with whatever? We've got that piece. Now, knowing that as you move forward, what do you do when you've got a client and you're looking at where they're starting, and how do you customize for them? How do you customize this program for them? How do you make it unique to them? Well, number one, and this is the biggest thing, and I always tell people, the first and foremost, I encourage you, always get on the phone with your client. Always, 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 always. Because there are things that are going to come out, and not that the call has to be long. It does not have to be long. But there are things that are going to come out when you're actually speaking to somebody that are not going to come out in email. So, somebody's going to get to know you, and by hearing your voice, they're going to be much more comfortable and want to tell you a little bit more about what's going on. Realize we are not medical practitioners. We are not therapists, so we're not here to treat. We're not here to, to prescribe. We're here to listen, and we're here to help them as best we can with anything that is related to coaching, with anything that's related to their nutrition based on this coaching, with making suggestions and recommendations for fitness. So one of the key things, and this is something that you always have to get in practice with before you even get started coaching, we are not prescribing. We are never prescribing with this program. None of us are licensed professionals, but you don't want to prescribe. So it's never, it's always I recommend, and that legally is going to cover you from any kind of issues. It's always I recommend. So I encourage you, start building that into your regular vocabulary right now. Even if you're talking to somebody casual in the juicing place, well, I recommend this. Don't ever prescribe, ever, never, never, never. So it's just going to be much easier on you. So, so how do we meet clients where they're at? What does that mean? Well, some clients have special needs. Some have special situations. And it's really about learning to listen. So taking that moment, let these clients tell you about their situation. When you're a coach, it can be really hard not to judge people, but we do have to be non-judgmental. So, we'd like to say when you have clients that come to you and say, well, I don't have time to prep. I can only do convenience foods, and, okay. So it's really about looking at that and saying, all right. Oh, you know what? Hold on. I'm going to invite Karen in because for some reason she's not coming to the call. Get her in here. There we go. Okay. Paula or Penny, can you just message Karen in Slack and tell her that I invited her into the call? Thank you. It's really difficult not to be judgmental, and this is a piece that you have to let go. It's really a piece that you have to let go. As much as we want to get frustrated with clients who are not doing what they need to be doing, or we want them to do the program, we have to let go of that piece and say, okay, how can I help you help yourself? How can I make suggestions? So maybe that's really focusing in for that client on that 1% better. So maybe you're going to help that client focus in on, all right, what can you do? What can you do that's 1% better? And don't tell them what they're going to do. The key piece is getting them to tell you, because then that puts the responsibility back on them. And that's really hard because we want to help. We're here because we want to help people. But you really have to put that back on your clients and get them to respond to you. Okay, what is going to be your goal for this week? What's going to be your 1%? Paula and Penny, how have you dealt with that? I'm going to pick on the two of you. How have you dealt with that with clients?
I tell them to pick one thing, to figure out what your 1% is going to be today. Are you going to take 10 more steps? It depends on what level. Where are they? They're just starting. Have they been in the program for a while? What does your 1% look like today? Not tomorrow, not next week, just today, one day at a time. And I try to reinforce that because it's been my experience that people tend to get overwhelmed when they they look at the whole thing and, oh my gosh, I've got to do all this stuff. And no, think about just today. All we're promised is today. So, what is it you're going to do for yourself today that makes it 1% better? Are you going to, make your juices for tomorrow? What is it? So, and I approach it, on a smaller scale rather than, looking at the overall big picture.
I agree. Paula, you want to add?
I usually go with reflection at the end of the day. After you've made it through your day and you're looking at reflecting on how it went, nutrition-wise, mindset-wise, if there's something, generally everybody has something, I should have done that a little bit better, then let's take whatever that may be, and make that the 1% better for tomorrow. Because there could be a lot of things that maybe didn't go exactly right, but there's usually one thing that bothers you or is in your head more than the others. So let's take that one thing and make that the focus for the next day for just 1% better.
And I think the thing is, you work with your clients from the very beginning. So from the first time you have a connection with them, and really start to focus on just that one little piece, you're going to find that they're not going to be as overwhelmed. They're not going to be as panicked going into this whole coaching process if you can get them to focus on just that one. Now, are you going to get those clients where everything is difficult? Yes. That's just part of coaching. And how you handle it as a coach and how you move forward. So if you handle it in a very calm manner and keep people, focusing in on just what they need to focus in on for that week, you're going to set the tone for how that coaching experience is going to go with that client. So you as the coach, Paula, need to take charge of how these sessions are going to go with your clients. So that's kind of setting the rules. So when you're making that initial contact with the client, how is it going to go? This is what I expect from you as your coach. This is what I expect from you each time. If you get into the habit of doing that very first contact, it's going to be much easier. Now, is it always going to go that way? No, I hate to say it's not always going to go that way. And, some clients are going to be a little bit more needy at times, and some are you're not going to hear from at all. And that's all part of coaching. So when these things happen, number one, reach out and utilize your resources. So every one of the experienced coaches in this program will give you suggestions, tips on how to handle all of this stuff. Everybody's got their own experiences, and they're more than willing to share advice. So don't hesitate to ask. That's a big piece of this. Don't hesitate to ask for assistance on this. It's really important as you move forward in this that you learn to reach out and ask for help with this. Okay. Let's talk about, and this is one of the things, and this just expands on this, and we're not going to go too much into individual coaching, but I really want to talk about listening skills, because this is really such an important thing as a coach. Listening skills can be the hardest thing to develop when you're working with coaching clients. It can be the most difficult thing because we always want to be giving advice. We want to help. I want to help you. I want to help you. I want you to do this. I want you to do this. I want you to do this. The biggest and the best skill that you can practice is learning to be quiet and let your client talk and let them express themselves. Let them get it all out there. And then responding with the appropriate response. Now, sometimes you're going to have this knee-jerk, as they're in the middle of talking, where you want to say, wait, let them finish, and then come back with your response. And oftentimes that's going to give you time maybe to really think through what you want to tell them. So I'm going to used Penny's example on the last call. She's like, Red Bull is not part of this program. And so, yes, I think, and I'm sure knowing Penny, when that first came out, she was like, what? And that's a situation when you have a client that comes out and says, yeah, I'm drinking Red Bull for energy. Okay, well, that's really nice. So let them finish and tell you why. Karen, I'm going to mute you. Oh, there we go. We're getting a little feedback from you. Let them tell you why they're doing it, because obviously they have a reason why they're choosing to drink Red Bull in with this program. So let them tell you why, and then that's the time to really turn that around and make it a teaching moment. So, okay, so you're drinking Red Bull, and the biggest thing, and one of the things that I learned through nursing, and one of the things that May has stressed, is always repeat back to them what they said to you. Okay, so you're drinking Red Bull for energy. Did I hear that correctly? Let them confirm it to you. And then that's the time where you can say, well, have you tried anything else, for energy? Or tell me, why is your energy low? What's going on? Try and get to the bottom of, first of all, why is their energy low? And why are they feeling the need to turn to something like Red Bull? Now, do you have to directly sell Organifi, which, we all know that Organifi is 10 times better than Red Bull if you want energy, but it's not necessarily about going in for that sale. It's more about educating. So, okay, what things can we do differently? What things, and really get the client, pull it out of the client. What other things could you be doing? And you really don't want to say, okay, you're crazy, what are you drinking that for? Because that's not the approach that you want to take with a client. You really want to say, all right, what other things do you think that you could be doing rather than taking in this Red Bull? And let them mull on it a little bit. Let them think about it, because when that discussion happens and they start to bring out the suggestions, suddenly, if they're making suggestions, they're going to be much more apt to follow that, than if you tell them, well, I'm sorry, you need to be drinking Organifi. They're gonna say, no, I don't want to do that. So it's really about learning to turn those conversations around and get them to talk to you. Penny, what did you do with this situation?
I did actually what you said. I repeated it back to her because I was incredulous to begin with. That because she, even before she had joined FitLife, she was eating organic, she said, which I believed. I had no reason not to believe her, that because she was, I could tell just from speaking to her, she's very knowledgeable about, all kinds of supplements and, the things that we use, chia seeds, quinoa. She knew all this. And she did admit at one point she had a McDonald's habit before, she said. So, and then today, when this whole Red Bull thing came up, because she'd been complaining she didn't have energy. That's been the complaint. She couldn't juice fast, she said. But she was eating twice the amount of fat that was allowed, and she had diarrhea, and then she blamed the juice, and I said, well, we talked about it last week. We think it's the fat. So now she said, I try not to use Red Bull too much. And I said, well, really, you shouldn't be using that at all. I said, it's nothing but chemicals. I said, you're putting all this whole food and good nutrition into your body, and then you're throwing all these chemicals in. I said, no wonder you don't have energy. You have a false energy, I guess. I don't know. I've never drank Red Bull. I don't really know what the effect is. I never even drank that much caffeine. So I said, really, you need to try something. And she said, well, I try not to. She said, I'm not going to buy it anymore. And, if I really need it, then I know I have to get in the car and go to the store and get it. And I said, well, let's see if we can find like something, to replace the Red Bull. And I suggested the Organifi, and she does use it. And I said, well, I think if you would give it a chance, you'd find that it would do more for you than Red Bull. Because, from what I've read about it, you crash, you get a burst of energy, and then you crash, is what I've read. So I said, the Organifi will carry you farther. It's full of superfoods. It's so good for you. I said, why don't you just give that a try and not mix it with the Red Bull? How about that? So, she said she would try that, but I'm not convinced. I could tell if she gets in a bind, she's going to the store for the Red Bull. And quite frankly, I'm not really sure how to proceed with it. I can't hold her hand. All I can do is tell her, this is good for you, this is not good for you. So, but if she's not seeing the results she wants, she has to follow the plan to see these results.
Yeah, I love that. So. Karen's texting and she's saying green tea kombucha. Yeah, great suggestions, Karen. And this is where it can be difficult. When you have clients that really have their mindset on one thing and think that nothing else is going to help them, this is where you need to have an arsenal of things. And I will tell you, and I like to tell all new coaches, keep a notebook with all of these things. Keep a notebook so you've got these resources, at your disposal. Yamacha T2, exactly. Keep a notebook with this. I often, I have notebooks from when I first started coaching, jotting down everything about macros and different supplements and all of this stuff, and you can refer back to it, and it's a great thing to do, because when people come at you with odd things like this, then you can look to see, okay, what can I suggest to them? What can I suggest to them? Mm-hmm. So, this is why I encourage you guys to be on those group coaching calls as much as you can, because you're going to find odd situations that come up like that where we talk about those, and you're going to get really good tips to be able to share with your clients when that stuff comes up. So definitely, if you can't be on them, make sure you watch those replays, because you're going to get some great tips from doing that. One of the other things too, as you're just starting, as you're getting into the coaching mode, great time, get inside that membership, start to talk to people, start to create those relationships, start to respond to posts. Even if you don't know everything, you can respond back with what you do know. And it's a great time to challenge yourself. So maybe you're going to do some research in order to get back to somebody, with a response. This is a really great time to practice. And so utilize that tool to practice. That's part of the reason why everybody's inside the membership, and why we want you to do that and utilize that. So get in there and start to respond to people. So that's actually going to be my challenge to you guys this week. I want to, by the end of this week, I want to be able to look back and see that you've gotten in the membership and that you're responding to different members in there with their questions. And that's what I say. Even if you're not sure, or if there's something that you come across that you're like, oh, I need to pass this on to somebody else, that is the perfect place. You can always tag, especially me, if there's issues, any kind of issues going on there, especially with technical issues. It's a perfect place to tag me, and I'll see it. So you can just, hey, at Jill Smart, and or message me in Slack. Say, hey, can you take a look into this person's account? Cindy just did that over the weekend. And I got a woman all set up. So start to get into that membership and really start to connect with people and see what you can answer. Challenge yourself. Go and look at things and say, can I answer that? Do I know how to answer that? Can I give it some little tidbit, and challenge yourself to see what you can do. Okay? Any questions, ladies? Any questions? You guys are so quiet tonight. It's the same thing with the certified coaches call. Okay, well then we're going to wrap up about 5 minutes early tonight, and we're going to be back next week. Now, I will tell you, either next week or the week after that, Michelle Reichert is going to be joining us. She's one of our coaches up in Toronto. She's going to be sharing how she grew her business. She is currently doing, I believe, 4 groups a week with clients. So she's going to be here to share what she's doing and some tips. So I will get that posted for sure when she's going to be. I encourage you guys. You as newly certified and those going through certification, you're going to get the early link. You're going to get the premium access to that call to be live with her to ask her. So everybody else is going to have to watch. So don't miss out because she's got some great stuff to share. So I'll let you know for sure when that's going to happen, and that'll be either next Monday or the Monday after. And we'll continue to cover topics. So if you have any other questions, just message me, and let's get you moving forward. So, all right. Have a great night, everybody.
Ooh, thanks, Jill.
You're welcome.
See ya.